Welcome, everybody. This is episode 89 of the Matt and Ryan Show, one away from the Big 90. Ryan, of course, running a little late tonight, but he is expected to be here. He better be here, at least that's the case. But tonight's show is the big LSU versus Louisiana-Lafayette NCAA baseball super regional preview show, as it was announced today that the official times will be 7 o'clock for game one on ESPN2. And speaking of the devil.
Sorry I'm late, guys. Sorry I'm late, man. I just bought some real good trophy chili peppers, and they were starting to grow, but I didn't see any trophies.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they of the ghost chili variety?
No.
As in they don't exist?
No, because the ghost chili peppers are actually pretty good. They're hot. You know, these were like Ragin peppers or something along those lines, and they told me they were trophy-winning peppers, but I didn't see any trophies. And I haven't seen, any kind of verification that these things were actually worth a damn. So I think I need to get my money back.
Yeah, I think you got ripped off.
I think this is nothing but a big fraud. I think I got the little sister version. Good evening, folks.
That totally wasn't planned or anything.
No,
like that.
It actually wasn't.
It actually wasn't. That's called ad-libbing.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
Where were we?
We were talking about some baseball series this weekend.
With these guys?
Oh, yeah.
These guys?
Yeah.
You mean these guys?
Yeah. You know, the one that school that has won a national title and something?
A few.
Quite
a few.
Not they were counting, I don't know, over 40. But yes, Ryan, LSU versus Louisiana-Lafayette, the apocalypse scenario happened.
Yeah.
Well, one of the teams there that we expected, the other one did not expect.
Well, to back up on the whole regional round, you got a number 4 VCU going into Dallas Baptist and Fort Worth and coming out of the regional. You got the number 1 overall team in the nation in UCLA getting upset by Maryland, who had to travel across the country and beat them in their own backyard.
And the number 1 overall seed continues to be a curse, and they still have not won a national title since '99.
Damn. And then you get last night with NC State had an 8-1 lead going into what, the 5th?
No, the 8th.
They were 8-1 in the 8th.
8-1 in the 8th.
Below a 7-run lead in 2 innings.
You know who had to be more pissed off is Texas A&M. They're like, we're hosting a super regional. No,
not so fast.
No,
not so fast.
We're traveling 2 hours up to Fort Worth.
Yep. To play a road game.
Yeah.
2 hours. Well, then again, UL is traveling to play a road game, and they're traveling all of 65 miles.
Actually, UL's hosting Cal State Fulton.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Lafayette. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh la la. Where should we begin, Matt?
Where should we begin?
Do we try to keep it somewhat unbiased?
Yeah.
As difficult as it is?
Before we get right into it, though, another thing that continued now, I believe it is 8 out of 9 regionals that LSU's been paired with, where LSU's won the regional. I think in either it's I want to say it's like the last 9 super regionals LSU. I guess it's the easy way of saying it. The 1 seed that the other regional LSU's been paired with has gone down. So it's almost a curse to be paired with LSU as well. 8 out of the last 9.
But Houston wasn't the 1 seed last year, were they?
No, they were the 2 and I. Of course, I mean, like the regional that were paired.
Right. Okay, you're right.
But what was it? Texas knocked off. I think it was Rice or something like that. Okay. Texas was the 2 seed. So it seems like it's a curse if LSU.
Oklahoma was the 2 seed.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Kind of surreal, isn't it?
The curse of the box.
It really is the curse of the box.
It's like the reverse Wrigley Field curse.
Yes. No Billy Goats in Alex Box Stadium.
No jerks catching a fly ball to rob a home run and causing 80-something years worth of crap, or however long it's been.
I lost track. But it is less of an amount of time than last time Louisiana-Lafayette scored a touchdown in LSU.
True. Which is over a century.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
you're right.
Enough of the river.
We've had this discussion earlier.
Let's get to the analytics as it is. LSU comes into this regional. The bats seem to cool off a little bit, but the pitching, starting pitching in particular, Studley, Ryan.
Well, I don't want to say the bats cooled off, Matt, because UNC Wilmington averaged giving up only less than 2 runs a game this whole season. and average scoring, wasn't it somewhere north of 8 or 9 runs a game?
They did it. They had the 19th ranked offense in the country, and their bullpen was one of the best in the country.
And they got shut out in 2 games, 2-0, 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
To say that LSU's bats cooled off, I want to say is kind of a skewed statistic.
Well, at least Saturday they cooled because they had 16 balls hit that were over 100 miles per hour bat speed.
That's incredible.
They're just right to the field. Should catch break Saturday.
And this isn't the ULL team of last year. They're not. They're
very young. The entire weekend rotation is fresh.
Let's call it exactly what it is. Like you said, Matt, they're young. Their entire weekend rotation are freshmen. A lot of the big talent they had last year that carried them to a super regional have graduated and moved on.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still, when you make a regional, you're a top 64 team. So give credit where credit is due. They went in and beat a pretty quality Houston ball club.
And then beat Rice twice, including they've been playing Cinderella story the last couple weeks. Somehow got their way through the conference tournament. And then Rice has them on the rope 6-2, and they get 5 runs off Rice's all-conference closer. That's like Team of Destiny type of thing, stuff there in the regional.
Only so far. So far. Lane's pitched an absolute beauty.
Yeah, you think he had any postseason nerves? No.
I think he did at first. I think his first 10 pitches, and once he really settled in, it didn't matter what he was facing.
Right.
Lanes looked like an absolute monster. He looked the SEC Freshman of the Year. And absolutely.
And having that SEC tournament start before that, I think helped.
Absolutely.
Like, all right, now he's got 2
huge postseason wins.
So he gets 2 quality opponents. Well, that's a phrase we use a lot here.
No, well, hey,
Les Miles has lost control of the Matt Ryan show.
The bats. Who did we play first? The 4 seed.
The Lehigh.
Lehigh. They came out. They came to play. And a lot of the talking heads during the Lehigh game said they didn't have a strategy for game 2, and justifiably so. Mm-hmm. They were the 63rd seed in the NCAA.
Yes.
They only got in because they won their conference tournament. They had a losing record. They threw everything they could at us, and frankly gave Baton Rouge a scare for a little while. We're down 3-0.
It was the typical LSU falls behind in about the 4th or 5th inning, and then the bats turn back on. They gave us half of our runs on pass balls, but
we see the rotate. We see the pitcher one batting rotation through, and the second time that your first batter comes up, it's all different. It's all different. The bats, the strategy has changed. We know what's coming, and like you said, Matt, we've seen it all year. How many times have the Tigers gone down early and then come back and put the foot on the gas and literally and metaphorically put the foot on the throat of the opponent, not give up but maybe another run, and put up 9, 10 runs in a game and just show who's the more superior team.
But here's the even more surreal stat is that LSU got through this regional undefeated. Alex Bregman did not have a hit the entire regional.
Well, again, he did get on base. He went 0 for 1 against Lehigh with 2 walks and
2 hit by pitches. Yeah. So he was actually leading the nation without ever having an at bat on base percentage in the postseason for a while. But UNC Wilmington did shut him down. Now he got robbed a couple times too,
but they did have one outstanding bullpen. They really did. They kept one of the best offenses in the nation to 4 runs over 2 games. Mm-hmm. Not many teams in the SEC. I don't think anybody in the SEC can claim that in the weekend series that we played over the course of the season. And these guys are, small town USA team is one of those directional schools almost.
Right.
Very similar to Louisiana-Lafayette.
But they're usually pretty decent in baseball.
Yeah. Year in and year out, you hear UNC Wilmington, much like with Cal State Fullerton and all these smaller schools that are known for producing a baseball studs. They're year in and year out.
And it was showing that you had Dallas Baptist, Missouri State still alive.
Missouri State is a national seed, has to go on the road.
To Arkansas, one of the toughest places in the country to win. Ball Stadium is going to be packed with 10,000 fans, all in red, maybe about 600 of them in maroon. It makes you wonder. I know the NCAA was rewarding for a deservedly so national seed, but why did they not have an alternative place in place?
I was talking about that on the radio today. It was possible for them, because they play in a minor league stadium, to have the super regional game and the minor league game on the same day, hours apart.
Right.
You could have. But the NCAA has a rule that if you share a stadium on the same day, you can't have 2 events at one time. Which, again, National Communist Athletic Association. But what you gonna do?
This is 2015. I mean, They play 2 games in the same day on the same field in the regionals.
Then what the hell's the difference? Beats me. To the topic at hand.
Yes.
Who do you think throws on Saturday?
Well, Lanes will definitely be a game 1 starter. The question is
because of the rest time.
The rest time he's fine. He's got his full week rest. Super regionals, you put your ace game 1, no matter what.
Do you think it's Lanes Poche, or do you think it depends on the game 1 outcome?
I think it's Lanes Poche, but if Lanes gets the game 1 win, then it gets interesting. Does he?
Do you have to throw Poche?
He doesn't have to.
It depends on how.
Now you're not going to be playing in Omaha until Sunday. Let's just say theoretically. Let's say it goes to 3 games. Let's say LSU wins the 3 games and Poche those game 3 and wins.
That's a 6-game rest.
LSU's first game would be Sunday. It's going to be Lange
because that'd be an 8-day rest.
Regardless if you win or lose, the second game would be Tuesday, so he'd be throwing on 7 days rest anyway.
Whether he throws Saturday, whether he throws Sunday or Monday. Mm-hmm. You know, we criticized Maneri in the past about overcoaching, and it cost us last year. Mm-hmm. I honestly think he goes Lange Poche, buy yourself a day's rest.
Yeah.
End it when you can. Why even take the chance on game 3? Godfrey's been off and on. Bain's been off and on. You don't know which guy you're going to get, each outing.
Yeah, I think they go whole staff, and I could see him starting somebody like Russell Reynolds, who has had success against ULL.
Russell Reynolds is one of the best relievers we have. I think he's back finally at 100%. I'm shocked he hasn't stepped into the number 3 role, but I think he has more value out of the bullpen. If you can get 3 innings out of him, 4 innings out of him on a Friday, you still have him to use on that Saturday.
And also, considering we played Louisiana-Lafayette in that midweek game, we kind of have been used to that a little bit where you're throwing the pitchers 1 and 2 innings and mixing it up. So a lot of them have experience against ULL already this year. It's going to bring up an interesting scenario. I think Maneri does go for the throat, going Lange Poche. I mean, why not mess with the momentum? Now, if this is a national championship series, well, yeah, sure, you save your ace in the hole, of course.
You kind of have to in that sense. But, I think Maneri, as well as all of the LSU fans, are going to know that ULL's they're going to be coming in fired up.
Oh, absolutely.
This is their big shot, not only to make it to the World Series, but to beat the number 1 team in the nation, now the number 1 team in the nation, because UCLA is no longer in the tournament. And it's LSU ULL. It's kind of like football LSU Alabama, but in state. It's like a Florida State type thing.
Yeah.
But the difference being is ULL has always been the little sister.
Yeah.
The little redheaded stepchild, and LSU being the big brother as long as we can remember. Right. What's the record in baseball and football and everything else that we got to put together? They're going to be coming for blood from the first pitch in the first inning. Maneri, like you said, I think he puts the foot on the throat. We get the game 1 win on Saturday night with Lange. Poche has to throw Sunday. Has to. Mm-hmm. You buy you guys an extra day's rest. You don't give them a chance to rally the troops and come back from Monday night game 3 where then you have to go whole staff. And the worst part about going whole staff is, we have faith in the bullpen, but it's just like being at a craps table. You never know, really and truthfully.
Which one of them are going to show up?
Who's going to show up? What's going to be great? Bain could start, throw terrible in the first, give up 3-4 runs.
But he could throw 7 magnificent innings like he did against South Carolina.
Like you said, you never know. You could roll 15 sevens in a row and keep getting paid, or you can crap out on your second roll. It's just that's the downfall of
against Lehigh, I thought Bain did well for the first 2 innings, and then after that, I thought he was going to pull him, to save him for a potential disaster money scenario. Brought him back out that 3rd inning and started getting knocked around a little bit, but at least it showed in the first 2 innings, like, all right, he's got, at least for that first time around the order, he's throwing strikes, not walking people. I mean, that's the encouraging side on that. And I know he's gotten a lot of flack this year, but even Jesse Stallings looked good for an inning. He didn't give up his typical triple and then strike out the next 2 guys.
Right.
Now, again, it was Lehigh because he can outpower everybody.
Right.
Lineup,
but then again,
2 strikes.
Baseball is so much different than football, where you've got schools like Lehigh who can pull off these games and have a team like LSU on the ropes as they did.
Right.
We're down 3-0 in the 3rd inning, and you're wondering what's really going on. But in the back of our head, we're always still confident because it's happened so many times this season. Once the guys settle in and really see the pitches once or twice, everything changes. But you never know. You never know. I mean, we won against UNC Wilmington 2-0 both times. a lot of LSU fans say that makes me nervous.
Well,
I don't give a damn who we're playing against. 2-0 makes me nervous.
Yeah, absolutely. UNC Wilmington was in both those games. Could have easily won both those games.
You know, you got men on first and second. A home run takes the lead.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. That's a 3-2 ball game.
Now, personally, I think UNC Wilmington's a better team than you all are.
I agree. I think they have a better. I mean, the bullpen says it all.
Yeah.
The bullpen says it all. You know.
And that's some good experience. LSU's got their postseason jitters out of the way as well. They've been in close games all year. They've been in plenty of extra inning games. So close games should not be unorthodox for LSU this year. That should be, like the back of their hand.
You know, the Kentucky series, I think losing 2 or 3 to Kentucky really turned the season around. Said, hold up, boys. This is BS. We're better than every other team in the SEC, and we know it. Mm-hmm. This is unacceptable. And look at the results after the Kentucky series. Been one of the best teams in the nation, and number one for the majority of the season after that.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes.
Absolutely. But
do you know anything about the Ragin' Cajun baseball team?
Well,
because I don't.
Well, I mean, I know some things. They return a couple starters, but their offense doesn't really light it up that much. I mean,
not like
they have a couple 300 hitters, but then a couple of guys. In fact, the guy in their lineup bats barely over 200, but former LSU Tiger Evan Powell from a couple years ago. I think he got the gratified release, to use his term, went up to Eunice for a year and then went to Louisiana-Lafayette.
Batting under 200.
Or right around 200.
But with the experience he has, you can never count out experience.
Your girl's cousin is in the starting lineup. Dylan. We'll give Dylan a little bit of love.
Yeah, we'll give him a little bit of love. Because Tiger Droppings sure as hell did.
Yeah, if you want a pretty brutal look-alike thread, go to the Tiger Rant and look at the Louisiana-Lafayette look-alike.
Yeah, they went in.
It's pretty brutal.
They went in.
Shots have been fired. It's bad blood this weekend, Ryan.
I mean, it always is.
Yeah,
it always is. We know
ever since that regional where Louisiana-Lafayette players decided to start something, and the teams actually didn't play for 5 years because of that after.
We know on the football field that it's a one-sided ball game. Like I said, baseball is a whole different animal. Mm-hmm. The best 9 on that one day can win. Go back to the Nichols midweek game we had this year where Nichols beat us, and Nichols, if I'm not mistaken,
All right. Well, I think we're back.
We're also reversed.
Reversed. Yeah. Let's see if we can fix that. We're some Raging Cajun fans watching our show run and cut our feed or something like that.
You know, it's got to be. It's got to be. Some Raging Cajun fan works for Cox and cut us off. And, yeah.
We're getting this fixed in just a second, as soon as my mouse wants to work. But before we were so rudely interrupted, Ryan, we both said that LSU would get swept this weekend. And
different opinions on how it'll go, though.
Right.
I like Matt's idea. I didn't really think of it that way. With all
right, there we go.
We're halfway there. All right, now we're in business. You know, Matt had said before we were so rudely cut off that he thinks Saturday night game with Lanes on the mound is probably going to be a little bit closer of a match. He said 4-1-ish, 3-4 run game, and break the spirit, and Poche comes in and closes the door. I really like what Lanes has shown on the hill the past few weeks. He's been consistent. He's been accurate. He picks his spots. I don't think the Cajuns are going to have an answer. And even if they throw their ace, their freshman ace isn't close to our freshman ace. Even if their freshman ace would have won the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year, I think that speaks for itself. How many SEC teams made the tournament this year?
7. And
how many SEC teams hosted a regional this year? 4. How many Sun Belt teams hosted a regional this year?
0.
How many Sun Belt teams made it to the regional this year? Doesn't matter. I think you guys. Case in point. I don't think they have anybody who can match up to Lange on the mound on Friday night. I think 3rd, 4th, 5th inning, Tigers open it up, and Poche, I think, gets off to his usual rocky start, settles in, and it's lights out.
Yeah. Here's the surprising stat of this tournament. SEC leads all teams as usual. 5 teams out of 16 left. Pac-12, none. That's a little shocking.
UCLA, Oregon State,
Oregon, USC, and Cal, who also choked.
Oh, Cal had a tough one last night.
Well, I tell you, them and A&M's games were exciting. Like I've never seen like a 3-2 low-scoring game be so exciting.
Those were good games. Very good games.
But in fact, a lot of people were on Twitter saying like Cal and A&M need to schedule
every day. They should play every game.
They schedule a weekend series next year.
They should. They really should. They matched up well. It was a close game, close series.
Yeah.
None of those games in the A&M regional were blowouts as far as the A&M Cal games were concerned.
Right.
LSU and Lehigh, not so much. Tulane and Lehigh, not so much. UNC Wilmington and Tulane, not so much.
That was a little shocking.
Yeah, Tulane's a better ball club than what showed up against Wilmington both games. It is what it is. It was what it was. They got a tough draw against one of the best bullpens in the nation. Just couldn't hack it. Literally couldn't hack it.
But Coach Ryan and I are picking LSU to go to Omaha. Well, before we cut off for tonight, let's rapid fire through the LS7. Let's see if I can memorize off the top of my head. We got A&M and TCU.
TCU, they showed a lot of grit. And it's down with the Aggies.
I got TCU going as well, and
I think that goes in 3,
and it would put up a LSU TCU first round matchup.
So we play the winner.
Okay. Yep. LSU would be the home team in that game.
I like that matchup.
And LSU would be the home team in that game as
matchup.
well in round 1. Let's go
Miami and
around. We got Miami and we'll come back to Miami. It'll come next. But I know we got Louisville and Cal State Fulton.
I haven't followed either of them much this year, but I'm a Redbird fan, so I'm going to go Louisville.
I'm going to go with the real UL, making it to Omaha for the 3rd straight year.
Are they playing at home?
They're playing at home against Fulton. Louisville, they've been honestly maybe the most consistent college baseball program the last 3 years. I mean, if they win, they'll be straight trips. I mean, they've been very competitive up there.
Louisville, as an athletic program, has been outstanding.
Yes, all 3 sports. All 3 sports.
Football, baseball,
and women's basketball. Women's basketball, too.
Absolutely.
Let's see. We have Missouri State and Arkansas.
I got to go with Fayetteville on this one simply because they're playing at home. If it went the other way, I'd probably pick Mizzou State.
Yeah, that's a tough one to pick. Arkansas is one of the hottest teams in the country. Very tough place to play. I'm going to go Missouri State.
Upset Central? Even though it's not an
upset? I think Missouri State pulls it off. I'm going to say in 3 games. I think that might be
the
one of those like sleeper series to watch. I'm going to go with Missouri State on this one. Let's see. We got Illinois and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt goes up to Champaign.
Vanderbilt's going to Illinois?
Yep, they just missed out on the national seed.
Wow.
Yep.
Vanderbilt put up 21 runs the other day on Radford. I don't care who you're playing against. You put up 21 runs in a regional matchup, you got a damn good ball club. Illinois' first ever school trip to a super regional, and they're hosting one of the best teams in the nation with an outstanding
And the least
bullpen.
amount of losses out of anybody this year.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vanderbilt has 2 first-rounders on staff.
Vanderbilt. 2 games.
Pitching wins championships. The defending national champs go back to Omaha.
2 games.
Let's see. Florida and Florida State.
Oh,
This is in Gainesville.
man.
Talk about
What a matchup.
I mean, that's your primetime Friday series, I believe.
The Gators are one of the best defensive teams in the nation. I think them and LSU are both top 5 as far as fielding percentage. I've got the Gators, but I've got the Gators in 3.
I got the Gators in the sweep. I think it's the typical Florida State choke, but also I think Florida potentially might be the most complete team in the nation when it comes to full lineup, full pitching staff, full bullpen, arguably. I mean, at least they're in the conversation.
They are, absolutely.
And, you know, they won the conference tournament and finished, I believe, 2nd or 3rd in the SEC, which, I mean, the top 4 in the SEC were, 2 games apart. That type of thing. All right, let's see. Who?
Miami.
Miami and –
I'm going to match up with.
Oh, no, we got Maryland and Virginia. And,
ooh, a nice ACC battle.
The 3 seeds going against each other. It's in Virginia.
UVA is not the UVA of last year, the national runner-ups. I think Maryland's on the hot streak. Even though they've got to go on the road, they don't have to go that far. I like the Terps.
I'm going to go with the Who's at home just because they've had some postseason experience. They were a little down this year. But
the Who's?
They called the Cavaliers the Who's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the owl. I just saw that.
I thought you were going to say the Cavs. That's what I was expecting to come out your mouth. But who? I'm like, what are you talking?
Yeah.
Indiana got their ass kicked this weekend. What are you? The Who's?
Not that.
Who's?
Yeah. I like. But okay, I can remember who's Miami playing. It's not anybody from the West Coast. I know that.
No.
How
I
drawing
don't know who it is.
I'm trying. This is
sad.
This is really.
It's the one. It's the last team in the Super Regional.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I got Miami.
Oh wait, who
was it?
Never mind. Maryland beat UCLA.
Yeah.
I know Miami's hosting. Why can't we remember this?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. No, we went through all the SEC teams, right?
Florida, LSU, Vanderbilt, A&M. Yeah, that's the 4.
No, they have 5. Oh, we already said Arkansas.
That's
fine. So it's not them. This is all right. We gotta look this up. This is
pull
sad.
it up. Oh, pull it up.
Of course, you know the funny thing. We're gonna figure this out before we're
right before you pull it up. Either way, did Miami lock up a national seed?
Yeah, I think they were like 6 or something.
Miami, Columbia, University of Columbia.
Oh, that was brutal.
Kudos to the Ivy League team.
How could I forget VCU, the 4 seed Cinderella,
the team that we were just speaking of, who went into Dallas Baptist and embarrassed them. That's gonna be tough for VCU. That's gonna be real tough. I think they don't go down without a fight, but I've got Miami on this.
Yeah,
Miami's just bigger and better.
Miami's just too much. Them home.
They beat Columbia like 23-3 last night. It's just embarrassing. But Columbia didn't give up, man. I was watching bits and pieces of that game.
You are right about that. But yeah, I think Miami's just got too much. But I think that was all of them. I'm pretty sure we got all.
Game 1, NBA Finals, Thursday. Cavs, Warriors. Matt, real quick, before we start breaking it down, I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit next week. Who you got in the NBA Finals? How many games?
I'm going to go. I think it will be competitive, which at least I hope, because both teams are fun to watch. I can't go against a team that has been basically almost unbeatable at home. I'm going to go Warriors in 6.
This is like me picking against LSU, but not as serious.
You know what I wish also now I know they'll have Klay Thompson back, but I wish the Cavs had Kevin Love. That way they'd both completely be at 100%.
That's the thing that hurts the Cavs. LeBron, in my opinion, is the best player in the NBA right now. Individual best player in the NBA.
It's hard to argue that.
But he showed in Cleveland the first time he was in Cleveland, he can't do it alone. And without Kevin Love, J.R. Smith is good. He's not great.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving's going to have to step up more than he has.
Kyrie Irving's great.
Kyrie
Irving could make or break this series if he plays all out. I highly doubt they go into the Oracle and take a game.
They're going to have to.
That's the only way. I mean, they have home court.
Now, the Pelicans and Rockets have shown it is possible. Now,
Yes.
Warriors, of course, have pulled away in the end, but they both have shown they've both had double-digit leads on the road, but the Warriors are able to come back. If the Warriors have an off night, it's possible. But the thing, the Cavs are going to have to defend home court.
There's no way. You know, I think the one way the Warriors can be beaten, and this is what the Grizzlies showed, you have to outmuscle them.
Yes.
You have to outmuscle them. They're a smaller team, but they're the number one team in shooting, the number one team in offense, the number one team in defense in the NBA through the course of the season. I think they only lost, 4 games at home all year?
Actually,
Two. Well, I'm talking including the playoffs. I think the Grizz took 1 at home. Took 1 in the Oracle.
No, they have not lost in the Oracle this year in the playoffs.
Wow.
At least to my knowledge, I don't think they have.
Wow.
LeBron
is going to have to play like Michael
But
Jordan.
if anybody could,
It's
LeBron. LeBron
He'd
could
be
do
the
it.
one to do it.
He
Now,
could do it.
they beat the brakes off of the Cavaliers early in the season.
They
But
beat them both times, right?
Since that, well, I'm talking about I think they played.
What
Was
is
it
it?
both in the Oracle?
They played one in each.
They played a 1-1.
Mhm.
I know since the time that the Cavs and the Warriors, I guess it might have been the last game they played,
Mhm.
the Warriors and the Cavs both have had like almost equal records through the course of the NBA.
Yeah,
rest
the
of
Cavs. The
season.
Cavs got hot towards the end of the year.
Yeah, very much so. I hate to say it, but Warriors in 6. They're going to take 2 at home. I think 2 goes to the Cavs, and I think the Warriors take the next 2. You know, I don't think the Cavs have it without Kevin Love to be able to beat the Warriors. They're the most complete team right now, even though LeBron could probably outmuscle Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Time and time and time again. You can't outmuscle the three-pointer.
This is true.
There's nothing you can do. You can't outmuscle that. Kobe, in his prime, the defensive player he was, would have trouble stopping Stephen Curry shooting a 3. Warriors in 6.
Yep. But let's see what else we got before we sign off. Oh, just for craps and giggles. Stanley Cup Finals, Blackhawks Lightning. Who you got? We don't hardly ever tell you this. Just for pick's sake.
Lightning.
I got the Lightning too. They seem
like
like a team of destiny, and they went into the Rangers in Game 7 at Madison Square Garden, where they've never lost a Game 7 in the playoffs before. And not
They have now.
Yep.
They have now. Who's the goalie in New York?
Lundqvist, yeah.
Lundqvist. He had one of the worst games of his career. I watched the highlights of that Game 7, and he looked absolutely dismal. But credit to Tampa. Tampa fought and fought and fought. Tampa's one of those small market teams like Golden State who just had. It looks like they have all the pieces right together. I've kind of followed it a little bit more this year, and I don't really like the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks and the Red Wings go in the same boat for me.
Yeah, I don't like either.
That's like the Red Sox for me. Sorry,
Nah, you're Yankees fan,
but
you're loyal. You're loyal.
Each his own. But I don't like the Rangers. I haven't liked the Rangers since Gretzky.
There you go. But I think that's pretty much all the time we got. Does American Pharaoh pull off the Triple Crown?
No.
I'm going to say yes.
No. Different course.
It is a different course, and it's the long distance one.
That's the problem. Yep. It's the long distance. I don't think he does it. I don't think we see a Triple Crown for a while. And there's been, the past 3 out of 5. You had a 2 out of 3 for the Triple Crown, and then
yeah. I thought what's his name had it last year, but
yeah, I can't remember the name of that horse, but yeah. Secretariat was one.
The Secretariat did it.
Oh yeah, that was the movie. Anyways, that's all, folks.
Yep. Not America.
Not America. Go Tigers.
Beat the hell out of ULL.
Beat the hell out of ULL.